What is up, you guys? Yeah, it's a little dark right now, but that's okay. Yeah, I just want to make this video right now, and yeah, I'm really excited. I'm excited to share. I'm excited to see what comes up. I'm excited to see where this video goes, because it's an exciting thing about creating things is not knowing where they're going. And I just realized that making videos is a form of art. I guess I knew that, but I never really thought about that for myself. Like when I make videos, that's actually art. That's pretty cool. I just really appreciate that. And long story short, making art is super important and very critical and essential, because here's a quote for you guys. The opposite of war is not peace, it's creation. So if you want a lot of peace in your life, start making things, creating things, right? Because, yeah, that's the way to do it. War is destructive. Creation is peaceful. Haha. Really cool. But anyway, let's see. So I've been doing my voting job this week. Today was my third day, and it's felt like all week, even though it was only 3 days. And each day was not quite 8 hours. It was 8 hours plus a lunch. So it was really like 7 hours. 8 hours including lunch, so like 7 work hours. But it's been a very involved job. It's been a very demanding, but in the right way. Demanding in a good way kind of job. Like, it takes it out of you, but it doesn't take it out of your soul, if that makes sense. Like, when you're done working, you're like, I just got done working. And you're like, I feel like I just got done working, you know? And it's been really, really great. I'm all done where I was. I was working in one county, an hour away from where I live. Now I'm going to be working where I live, and for more money, and that's such a huge blessing. And yeah, I'm so excited. I met some really cool people there when I was working there this week. Really cool people. And there's one person in particular, a lady that I was having a hard time getting along with her. And I feel like there's always those kinds of people. We always have a challenge somewhere along the line. And yeah, so it was interesting. But I got through it, and I made some thoughts. Yeah, I did some thinking. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. I made some thinking. I had some thinking. I did some thinking. And I decided that I don't need to be judgmental or critical or harsh or anything like that. But this lady really kind of got under my skin. She really rubbed me the wrong way. Nothing against her, but it was just, yeah, pretty frustrating, kind of, trying to work around that. And we're all in close quarters, and we're with each other in the same room all day, each day, same people. And she was a lady who was like, she didn't have very much to do. She was like one of the supervisor people. So she was just like kind of walking around and like watching us and everything and asking questions. And she was like, it was frustrating to me, because I was like, dude, this lady is just like, what the heck? Like, she's here getting paid for this. She's like not even doing anything. Like, I was having I guess those are pretty judgmental thoughts. But that was my thought. Those were my thoughts at the time. I was like, this is a joke. This is a joke. I was frustrated because, like, every time she'd say something, it was an obvious statement. And then every time she'd talk to you, she had a tendency to talk to you as if you were stupid. And it was just, there's a lot of, if I chose to, I could have been really firm. This isn't me. This isn't like who I am. But I could have been really like, I could have been nasty with her. Like, I could have been like, what's the point of you being here? Like, why are you here? And like, can you leave me alone? Can you stop hovering around me? Can you stop staring at me? Can you stop staring at what I'm doing? Can you give me some space? Can you give me some respect? Can you give me some privacy? It was really hard because I felt like I couldn't say any of those things, but I was definitely feeling those things. And it was really frustrating for whatever reason. Like I said, this lady grind my gears. She was grinding my gears and kind of getting under my skin, and it was frustrating. But I chose to love her anyway. I chose to, you know, bear it. Just get through it. Be nice to her. I was pleasant with her, and it was very hard. It was tricky. It was definitely frustrating, and everyone else was fine. Everyone else was cool. Everyone was like, it was a very stressful environment as well, so that definitely amplified the hard moments, and it was just really frustrating because it was frustrating at times, but there were also triumphant times, and the biggest takeaway from it was triumph, which is such a great thing. I'm so thankful that things went the way they went. I'm so thankful I was able to complete the job successfully. It was very tedious, hands-on, intense. We're inspecting voting machines and prepping them for the election, and there's so much official work that has to be done, and so much, over-analyzation and step-by-step tediousness, as it was said. But it's the stress and the stare and the intensity and the intensity from everyone most of the time. There was a couple people there who were pretty chill. They were pretty chill. Some of them were stressed but chill. And I definitely was one of them. I was doing a pretty good job, but it was definitely stressful. But there was a moment where it was like we were running these ballots through these machines, and they were counting them. And there are certain procedures we have to do, like, it's like, okay, well, you have X amount of ballots, and you have to run X amount through this machine, and then you have to run X amount through that machine. And then you take the ballots that you ran through those machines, and then you switch them, and then you run the X amount through that machine, and then run the X that machine. And it's like, well, all the ballots got separated in different piles, and suddenly, uncertainty crept in. It crept into the room, and it was like, what's going on? What are we doing? What's going on? Where are the ballots? How many? What's going on? What's going on? And then everyone started feeling that way, and they're like, oh, and they're trying to figure things out, and it was tough because, like, there was the one lady who I struggled with the most. She was carrying the most of that and projecting it on everyone else. And everyone else is trying to validate her, even though it was it wasn't necessary. It wasn't necessary to validate her, because I'm not saying her feelings are invalid, but the most important thing to do in that kind of situation is to remain calm and not freak out. So to freak out and then have other people freak out with you is not necessarily, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't vibe that way normally. Like, if everyone's freaking out and I know we shouldn't be freaking out, I'm not going to freak out. Like, or at least I'm going to try not to, because I don't think it's necessary to do that. I think it's best to remain calm. And so I was determined to stay calm, and everyone was freaking out, and we're like, oh man. And we were in these big processes where, like, we were running ballots through these machines, and we're in the middle of this process, a long, detail-oriented process, like a 40-step process, right? A 40-step process, and all the steps were really, really detailed down to the T, like detail, like verify this, what's the code here, but the intensity of everything was just so much, right? And so people were kind of freaking out and frustrated, and they were like literally like, I don't know what we're gonna do. And then so everyone's like, okay, well, we just gotta start counting ballots. And I was like, everything about this doesn't seem right at all. Nothing about this seems like the right thing to do at all. But everyone was like, well, just what we have to do. It's just what we have to do. No offense to everyone or anyone, but this is just what was going on. And I was like, and I turned to the one lady who I know listens to me. There's a couple people there who listen to me. Like, I'm not just like all day. Like, I don't say that much, but I try to stay paying attention the whole time I'm there all day. But I'm trying only to say things that are super important, right, at the right time, and say things when they're necessary, things like that. Like, well, hey, don't you think we should do this way? Well, what about this? Like, did you think about this, And so I said to her, I said, I have a thought, And I tried to say it, and it was like in the middle of the chaos. It was like the chaos was going, we're going to count every vote. We're going to, by hand, we're going to count papers, and everyone's freaking out and stressing. Woe is me is like to the full max for everyone, basically. And I'm just like, that's not necessary. We don't need to do that. And so I said, I have a thought, and I was trying to express it to her, but I had to wait for the other person to go off again and say, oh, this is going to be crazy. Well, this is wrong now too. And now we got to do this way. And la la la. So I had to let that person say that and wait. And then express my thought. And I said, the machines are counting the votes, right? Well, yeah. I was like, okay. Well, then why do we need to count the votes, right? If we need to put 80 in each machine, then why don't we just start feeding them into the machine and watch the counter on the machine? The machine will count them for us. It wasn't rocket science, but in the moment, in the midst of everything, it was crazy. So, it was crazy. And it was like I was the voice of reason, but it wasn't getting through. It took a while to get through to everyone. But the one lady, the main lady, she was listening to me. She knew I was right. She thought about it, and it was because she was starting to buy into everything as well. Into the, oh man, everything's messed up. We got to recount everything. We got to do this, all this stuff. And I was like, no, it's okay. And so we actually did that. I actually convinced everybody that everything was actually okay, and that we didn't have to freak out. Everything was going to be okay, and all we had to do was do that. And that's what we did, and it worked, and it was great. And it felt so triumphant. I felt it. And no one else really said anything about it, but I felt it. I was like, yes, yes. It was such a great feeling. It was a great feeling. But anyway, yeah, it's just, it is a stressful job, but it's not that hard. And each day you do it, it gets easier. And working in the election climate is like you get a little bit more broken in. And people feed, and you can, and here's the thing. The more you learn to be calm in stressful situations, the more peaceful food you have to feed everyone else around you, because they will get freaked out and stressed out, but they don't need to. So if you can keep some peace and share it with them and help them see that it's not necessary, it can go a long way. And so that's what I try to do, and it does make a difference. We're told by the prophet to be peacemakers, right? So that's the goal, right? So anyway, that's my short little story about what's been going on. My video. Thank you for watching. Sorry you can't see my face. Be a peacemaker. I encourage you to be a peacemaker. Thank you for watching.